Let me guess, you've been feeling invisible lately, haven't you? Like no matter how much good you do, it just goes unnoticed. You watch others rise, succeed, and get chosen, while you remain quietly forgotten, left behind. You're not lazy, you're not ungrateful, you're just tired. Tired of wondering why your moment hasn't come yet. But what if I told you something different? What if I told you that you were never forgotten, that you were hidden by Allah on purpose for something far bigger than you've ever imagined? Sometimes, the strongest souls are the ones Allah keeps in the shadows the longest. You keep feeling like you're not enough. But what if Allah is protecting you from settling for less? You scroll through your feed, and it feels like everyone else has it all figured out. They look confident, smiling, living lives that seem full, loved, celebrated, and seen. Meanwhile, you sit there, wondering why you still feel so incomplete, why you question yourself over and over again, why you look in the mirror and feel like something is missing. It hurts. And the worst part is, you can't even explain it to anyone. Here's something your heart really needs to hear. Maybe it's Allah who placed that discomfort inside you, not to hurt you, but to protect you from something far worse. Because if you felt enough in the wrong place, you might have stayed there. You might have accepted a job that would have destroyed your peace, or married someone who would have drained your soul. You might have built a life that looked beautiful on the outside, but left you empty on the inside. So what did Allah do? He allowed you to feel the sting of not enough. He allowed you to feel disconnected, different, lost, because He didn't want you to attach to what was never meant for you. He wanted you to grow, not sideways, not backward, but upwards. And that kind of growth, it takes silence, it takes loneliness, it takes feeling like the world has forgotten you, all while Allah is quietly shaping you into who you're meant to be. You're not weak, you're not broken, you're not too late. You're being reshaped for something that won't break your heart when you finally receive it. So, the next time you whisper to yourself, "I'm not enough," try this instead. I'm still becoming the version of me that won't settle for less than what Allah has written for me. Because when you finally step into that chapter of your life, you'll look back at this pain and say, "Ya Allah, thank you for not letting me accept anything less than what I'm truly worth." Now, let's talk about healing. Every time you start to heal, it feels like something else breaks, doesn't it? You finally start to feel okay. You breathe a little easier. You smile a little more. You sleep a little deeper. But then, out of nowhere, something else happens. Another disappointment, another test, another moment where your heart sinks, and you just sit there thinking, why can't I catch a break? Why does healing feel so temporary, so fragile? You feel like life is this constant cycle of fixing one thing, only to watch something else fall apart. And honestly, it gets exhausting, doesn't it? Just when you think you've found some stability, something else crumbles, and you're left picking up the pieces. But what if I told you this constant breaking isn't a sign that you're failing? What if, in fact, it's the opposite? What if every crack in your heart is actually a doorway leading to a new kind of strength that Allah wants you to discover? There are some strengths you'll never access until something inside you gets shattered first. Maybe Allah is awakening a version of you that's more patient than you've ever been, more grateful than you've ever felt, and more connected to Him than you've ever imagined. You weren't created for comfort. You were created for growth. And real growth, it's never soft. It's silent, slow, and it almost always feels like breaking at first. The truth is, You don't become stronger by getting everything you want. You become stronger by surviving the things you never asked for. And right now, that strength is being forged inside of you. Not the kind of strength that others see, but the kind only Allah sees. The kind that builds through your du'as, in your private tears, in your quiet patience, and in the way you still say, Alhamdulillah. Even when your heart feels heavy, you're not just healing, you're evolving. Yes, healing might not look like a straight line. It might feel like starting over 100 times. It might seem like you're breaking more than you're building. But with every piece that falls apart, Allah is placing something eternal in its place. So keep walking, even if your steps are slow and your hands are trembling. One day, you'll look back and realize those breakdowns weren't setbacks. They were sacred awakenings, and you didn't just survive them. You became someone unshakable because of them. Now, let's talk about something else you might be feeling: being misunderstood. You keep being misjudged because your light is meant to shine quietly, not loudly. You try your best to be kind, to speak from the heart, to avoid drama, and to bring peace wherever you go. But somehow, people still misunderstand you. They misread your silence, twist your intentions, and label you with things that have nothing to do with who you truly are. Over time, it starts to hurt, not because you crave praise, but because it's painful to be misunderstood when your heart was always clean. You might ask yourself, why do they always get me wrong? Why do people assume the worst about me, even when I stay silent? But maybe this pain isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. Perhaps it's proof that your soul is so rare, so pure, so sincere, that this noisy world simply can't process it. You weren't made to be loud. You weren't made to perform or explain yourself 100 times just to be accepted. You were made to shine quietly, to love deeply, and to walk humbly. Sometimes, your light will only be recognized by those whose eyes aren't clouded by ego, jealousy, or judgment. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was called a liar before he was recognized as a prophet. Yusuf, alayhi salam, was accused before he was honored. Maryam, alayhi salam, was slandered before she was honored. Your worth isn't defined by the opinions of others. When you remain steadfast in your truth, even when the world doesn't understand, know that you are following the path of those who were tested before you, those whose light, despite being misunderstood, became a beacon for those with pure hearts. Your light may be quiet, but it is undeniable. Before she was praised, before anyone recognized her strength, the world misunderstood every soul that was chosen by Allah. So, what makes you think you'll be treated differently? If your heart feels lonely, it doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It might mean you're exactly where Allah wants you to be. He's teaching you to stop needing applause, to stop explaining yourself, and to stop begging for people to understand you. The one who created your heart already understands it better than anyone else ever could. When Allah understands you, it doesn't matter who doesn't. So, don't dim your light just because others can't handle it. Don't silence your sincerity just because it makes others uncomfortable. You weren't sent here to be understood by everyone. You were sent to live your truth and let Allah handle the rest. One day, the same people who misunderstood you will look at how far you've come and realize we never really knew who they were, but Allah did. And that recognition will be more than enough for you. You've been in the same place for years, haven't you? Same home, same job, same routine, same pain. While others are moving forward, achieving, growing, relocating, marrying, you feel stuck. You're still here, still waiting, still wondering. Why does nothing ever change for me? It starts to sink in that heavy feeling, like life skipped over you, like maybe Allah isn't listening, like you're not chosen after all. But here's what you don't see yet. Maybe this place, the very ordinary, invisible, and difficult place you've been planted in, is actually sacred. Some of the biggest transformations in your soul don't happen in new cities, new jobs, or new marriages. They happen when nothing around you changes, but everything inside you does. What if this delay isn't a punishment, but a test so important that Allah won't let you leave until you pass it? What if there's something inside you that can only be healed here, in the silence, in the sameness, in the waiting? Your environment may feel small, but your patience inside it is growing, growing into something massive, something eternal. Some people travel the world and still feel lost, but you might be standing still in one place for years and yet still be traveling closer and closer to Allah, because it's not about changing locations. It's about letting Allah change you. Maybe your reward isn't somewhere else. Maybe it's right here. But you'll only see it once your heart passes the test that Allah has hidden beneath the surface. Sometimes Allah hides treasures in the most uncomfortable places. He hides the answers where the pain is. He hides the turning point inside the waiting. You're not stuck. You're being anchored. So when the winds come, you won't break. And one day, when your heart is ready, Allah will move you in a way that's effortless. Doors will open for you so easily, and you'll finally realize that it wasn't about escaping your circumstances, but embracing the wisdom that came from the waiting. In the silence and stillness, your soul has been nurtured, and you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and ready to receive the blessings Allah had always planned for you. You keep giving, even when it's hard, and yet it feels like your kindness is a curse. You wonder why it hurts so much to be the one who always puts others before yourself. Why it feels like you're constantly the one who sacrifices, the one who feels the weight of every unspoken need, the one who holds everything together while others take. And sometimes it feels as though your kindness is being taken advantage of, and you question if it's even worth it. You ask, Ya Allah, why does it always feel like kindness is my burden to carry? But what if this pain, this feeling of being misunderstood, is actually part of your strength? What if Allah is letting it hurt so that it can turn into power, into a form of resilience that only the truly compassionate can possess? Sometimes you have to endure the sharp edges of kindness in order for it to transform you into someone who radiates a strength that can't be shaken. You see, Allah doesn't allow us to endure pain without purpose. Every time you forgive when it still hurts, every time you stay silent when it would be easier to speak up, every time you give when you have nothing left to give, you are being refined, reshaped into someone who can handle the weight of true strength. And that strength isn't loud or brash. It's quiet, steady, and unwavering. It's the strength of someone who has been tested, someone who has been hurt and still chooses to show up, to love, to forgive. But here's the truth. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel like your kindness is a burden sometimes, because through that pain, Allah is teaching you patience, humility, and the deep power of unconditional love. You may not see it now, but every act of kindness is like a seed being planted in your heart. And one day, when the time is right, that seed will grow into a mighty tree of strength that will shelter and protect you and others for years to come. So, Continue being kind, even when it feels like you're giving more than you're receiving, because Allah is turning that kindness into a strength that will never break, a power that can withstand any storm. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the very things that once hurt you are the things that have given you the strength to stand tall in the face of adversity. Trust in Allah's wisdom and trust that your kindness is leading you to a place where your soul will bloom in ways you never thought possible. But maybe Allah is redirecting you to something greater, something that will bring you true peace, true fulfillment, and true happiness. You see, not every dream you have is meant to come true in the way you envision it, and that's where the beauty of Allah's plan unfolds. Sometimes, the things you desperately hold on to are the very things that would have taken you off the path that's destined for you, a path filled with growth, healing, and divine blessings that you can't yet comprehend. It's easy to feel disheartened when the dreams you've worked so hard for start to fade or crumble. But what if that's not the end? What if it's just a chapter closing, making room for a better one? Allah doesn't give us desires without knowing what we need, and sometimes that desire is a stepping stone, a way to prepare your heart for the true blessings that are meant for you. Perhaps you've prayed for something for years, imagining how your life would look once you reach that dream, and when it's taken away, the pain is overwhelming because you feel as if the promise has been broken. But Allah never breaks promises. What He does is protect you from things that, in the end, would not have brought you the peace you were seeking. He's not saying no to your dream. He's saying, I have something better for you. In the moments of disappointment, trust that there is divine wisdom in the silence of unfulfilled dreams. It's easy to feel as though you've been abandoned or that your efforts were in vain. But perhaps this fading dream is simply the unveiling of a bigger, more fulfilling purpose. Just because things aren't going the way you thought doesn't mean they aren't going the way they're meant to. Take a deep breath and know that every step you've taken, every prayer you've made, has not been wasted. Allah is guiding you, redirecting you, and preparing you for something far greater than you could have ever imagined. And one day, when you look back, you'll see that the dreams you thought were lost were actually part of the journey that led you to something far more beautiful, more aligned with your soul's purpose. So, don't be discouraged if your dreams seem to fade or disappear. Trust in Allah's plan, for He is writing a story for you filled with no regrets. You are being shaped for something extraordinary, and the life you are meant to live will be far more fulfilling than anything you could have envisioned on your own. Keep your faith, keep praying, and know that your dreams are being redefined by the most loving and wise planner, Allah. It will be your soul, your journey, your growth, and every ounce of patience you've cultivated through the silence. Your words will carry the weight of everything you've experienced, everything you've overcome, and everything you've learned in the quiet moments when you were invisible to the world. Allah has been preparing you for this, sharpening your voice with each moment of restraint, making it powerful enough to shift hearts and open paths that were once closed to you. This silence isn't weakness, it's strength in disguise. It's the quiet hum of a soul that's been refining itself in solitude, ready to speak with clarity and purpose when the time is right. When that moment comes, you won't need to explain your every thought or defend your place. Your voice will resonate because it will be the truth, and truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be spoken with sincerity, and that's exactly what you'll bring to the world. So, If you've been holding back, unsure if anyone is listening, know this: Allah is preserving your voice for something magnificent. It's not about the noise you make, but the impact your words will have when the time is right. You might not see it yet, but your silence has been your preparation, and your words will echo far beyond what you ever imagined. When your moment comes, you will speak, and the world will listen, not because you shouted, but because your words will carry the weight of the truth you've been holding within you all along. It will be a moment when Allah places the perfect words on your tongue at the exact time they were meant to be heard. And that's not just a voice speaking, it's a voice filled with purpose. So wait, not in frustration, but in faith, because your silence is not a weakness. It's the sacred space where Allah is preparing your voice for the moment it will matter most. And when that moment arrives, it will be so powerful that it will shake the hearts it was always meant to reach. If you've been hidden, delayed, or feel as though life has passed you by, remember this: Allah doesn't hide what's worthless. He hides what's precious. He hides what He's still preparing, shaping it into something that will one day shine. And when the time comes, He will bring you out of the shadows, not to be seen by the world, but to step into the life and purpose that were always meant for you. Until that day arrives, stay patient, stay sincere, stay close to Him. What's coming will make you thankful for every time you were overlooked, for every time you felt unnoticed. Those moments were part of the process, preparing you for something far greater than you could have imagined. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might feel forgotten or overlooked. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because your soul deserves these reminders. Your time is coming, and when it does, it will feel like you never missed a thing. Just trust in Allah's timing and wait with faith.